What is Java? In my school, we are recently adopting the course called Project Lead the Way. My industrial tech teacher is actually the one who will be teaching the course. I simply want to support this program and challenge students' problem-solving skills while making connections to technology within the art room. My school currently has 2 computer labs, of which are usually occupied by the Math and Language Arts departments for acuity testing. Rather than always use a computer, I intend to teach basics of Java using hands-on activity methods. Since this section is introducing Java, I have geared it towards a presentation and sorting activity. I figure if students can learn the concepts, they can still apply them and be aware of Java programming as they consider college degrees. So what is Java? Java is a high-level programming language developed by Sun Microsystems, now a part of Oracle, widely used for developing platform-independent internet applications. Java was developed by James Gosling in 1991. Its first use in embedded chips in consumer electronic appliances. Some examples are TVs, VCRs, and toasters, to name a few. Java is particularly popular because you can write the program once and run it anywhere. James describes Java with these terms. To create a program, special characters are used to write the program in Java. You have open and closing braces, which will note a block to enclose statements. Opening and closing parentheses are used with methods. Double slashes precede a comment. Opening and closing quotation marks enclose a string sequence of characters. And the semicolon marks the end of a statement. When we're writing code, we use special symbols to do certain things. Every program needs a class. Opening and closing brace, an input and an output to the console. Formula or recipe, known as the programming acronym, we call it the IPO. I is for input, either auto by the program or asking the user to enter the information. P stands for processing or processes. The program takes the user program input and processes the information to come up with a result, which gives you the output. The results after running the program, which will be displayed on the console, your screen. Here we are looking at Style 1 and Style 2. Style 1, even though it is hard to read, will still compile and run properly, even if it was all smashed onto one line. It is harder to read and would be harder to identify programming errors. Program Style 2 is a better programming style. This style is using proper documentation, indentation, making the program easier to read, which will help programmers prevent errors. Just like in writing and in art, there are many different styles for which programmers can write their code. When we are writing our code, we look at an example such as this. Let's analyze it line by line. Line 1 is a comment that describes the program. Line 2 names the class. All programs will have a class, and all classes will begin with a capital letter and an opening brace. Line 3 defines the main method. The program is executed from this main method. The programs can consist of several methods, but the main method tells a program where to begin. Notice it says public static void main. Main identifies that this is the main method for which the program will begin. In line 4, you can notice that it says system.out.print. The out tells the program this is sending it to the console. What it is sending to the console is inside the parentheses, known as the string, within quotation marks. Welcome to Java. The statement is terminated by the semicolon, known as the statement terminator. Line 5 and line 6 both are closing brace. Line 5's closing brace ends the method. which is telling the program what to do, and we'll look for another method and or the last closing brace, which completes the program in line 6. You will then see the output on your console or monitor, which reads, "Welcome to Java." Let's do a small activity. We will practice writing a program by sorting index cards. Your team will need to place the program in the order of the IPO, your input, process, output. When you feel that you have correctly ordered your program, raise your hand, and I as a teacher will come by and analyze your work. If you have incorrect order, I'll place a red X next to lines that are out of place. This will help you learn your problem-solving skills and practice patience with coding. Now that you have seen a sorting activity, we are going to look at the answer. The answer should look like the photo that is displayed on the screen. When we are creating and compiling a program, it then has to execute through the Java program. The following illustration shows how the program will repeatedly compile and execute, compile and execute. It is a repetitive process that will happen. Programming errors can be categorized into 3 types. You have your syntax errors, runtime errors, and logic errors. Syntax errors are also known as compiling errors. They result from code construction, mistyping of keywords, forgetting punctuation, or failing to follow an opening brace with a closing brace. When we go to fix these errors, we look at the top of the code and begin following down, as one error could fix several. Runtime errors are caused when the program terminates abnormally. This can be a mistake by the input from the user or from logical division by 0. Reasons and locations for the errors are displayed on the console when the program aborts, which makes these errors a little bit easier to find. Logic errors. These errors result in incorrect results. They are usually caused with flawed arithmetic. These errors are the most challenging to find as you have to analyze what you have asked the program to execute. Let's have some review questions. Who first created Java? James Gosling. If you forget to put a closing quotation mark on a string, what kind of error will be raised? A syntax error. If your program needs to read integers, but the user entered strings, an error would occur when running this program. What kind of error is this? A runtime error. Suppose you write a program for computing the perimeter of a rectangle and you mistakenly write your program so that it computes the area of a rectangle. What kind of error is this? A logic error. Looking at the code, can you identify 4 errors? I'll give you a few seconds. If you notice in line 2, Main should be lowercase, static is missing. In line 3, we are missing the opening and closing quotation marks. And in line 5, we are missing the closing brace. We want a brace, not a parenthesis. Before you leave class today, please write a simple program. The phrase is "coding is fun." Will be displayed on the console. At the top, include your name as a comment. Remember to use the appropriate punctuation.